financial stocks sold off on Monday, led by Deutsche Bank and JP Morgan. Evil and evil, after a report that several global banks moved $2 trillion. It's not that much money anymore, is it? $2 trillion in allegedly illicit funds over the past 2 decades. Yeah, this happens all the time. This one, it sounded a little bit like less than I originally thought, in terms of this is them reporting likely or possible money laundering or other illicit activity. But they all report that. But the bad ones are when they realize, oh, this is the cartel money, or some other obviously doing illegal activity, and that he disappears right now.
I thought he would be the expert on this one too.
Yeah. So one way or another, though, that they realize they've been moving this money, billions and billions of dollars, trillions of dollars sometimes, and they keep doing it. And then when they're discovered, nobody loses their job, and nobody
pay a fine.
Goes to prison. They get a $25-50 million fine, which is not even the amount they made doing the crime. It's
crazy. Insane, man.
It's a profit deal.
And I see all this and I get so mad, but then I'm like, if you had a chance to be in on this, wouldn't you so do it?
I don't know. I don't.
It's gonna happen anyway.
They would never let me in that crowd.
Yeah, I know. Recordings like this is what screwed you. Yes,
John. So at this end, you might have missed it because they closed you out. They shut you off. They didn't want you to hear the question. But basically, when the banks learn that there is money laundering going on, and then they continue to do the money laundering for profit, and then they get a fine for some small percentage of the actual profit that they turned. What are your thoughts there? How often does that happen, and who's really behind it?
It happens a lot, Joe. It happens a great deal. You may or may not remember, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 4 years ago, there was a huge flap because it was determined that the major banks dealing with LIBOR, which is the bank lending rate in Europe, that they've been manipulating that and making billions of dollars in profit betting on which way the rates were going when they were controlling the rates.
Wow.
So and the fine, and it's just like you said in that case as well. The fines were in the billions, and the bank writes it off as a legal expense or whatever, and on they go. Deutsche Bank has got. If you look at the ethics record of Deutsche Bank, and JP Morgan's right along with them, but Deutsche Bank is probably the most unethical bank on planet Earth. I mean, at least of the international banks. These guys, they're corrupt to their souls. JP Morgan Chase has been sued a number of times for manipulating the precious metals markets. And it's like the pharmaceutical companies. They come out with these pills and promote the hell out of them, make several $1 billion. A few years down the road, it's determined that, this thing causes brain cancer. Sorry. They get fined a few $1 billion. Nobody goes to jail. When in fact their clinical trials showed that this was a problem. And it's an expense item. It's a line item on their expense sheet. Figure this amount of money for legal expenses. So the banking industry, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, these guys are huge and they're dirty.